Coming up in the Conference Spotlight, we'll tell you the story of my three sons and the surging Andover Huskies football team.
Also, this edition includes the thoughts of one of the winningest coaches in Minnesota high school history as he takes his final lap. And we'll meet a Raptor runner from Eastridge who is leaving the competition in the dust.
Those stories and an in-depth review of the high school fall season in Minnesota on this edition of the Conference Spotlight, right here on SchoolSpaceMedia.tv. And greetings everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Conference Spotlight Show. Tori Holt, Eric Nelson along with you. Great first week in the books of the fall sports season.
Yeah, we made it back. We made the cut, Tori, and birds and dogs are going to be our feature this week. Raptors and Huskies.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a dinosaur. But I'll tell you what, it's been a lot of Eagles at Eden Prairie and Edina Hornets and Wayzata Trojans. Those have been the typical powerhouses in high school football. But right now, one of the teams that's on the rise that nobody's heard about yet is Eastridge out of Woodbury. They are the Raptors, and they are a team loaded with college-bound players coming into this season. And they had a great showing on the road getting things started against Roseville this past weekend. Roseville came in with high hopes after beating Cretin-Derham Hall in the opener, but the Raiders watch Eastridge take control in the opening drive. Nick Leach finds the seam and gets the 10-yard rushing touchdown so fast as he went out of focus right there. Leach into the end zone. He had 210 yards rushing on the day. More Eastridge later in the first. Austin Camerath bowls in from a yard out, and the Raptors went up 14-0 in the game. Then early in the second, Roseville threatening, but they could not score. Quarterback Jacques Parra is sacked on fourth down by Brad Simonson. Eastridge wins easily in this one, 42-19. A little bit of a setback for Roseville after their big upset against Cretin-Derham Hall. A 2-0 start for Eastridge. They move up in the rankings now to number 3. They are going to make quite a push for number 1 this year towards the end of the season. Let's shift to the St. Paul City Conference at Highland Park hosting Harding. Highland Park gets on the board late in the first. DJ Sims takes the pitch and goes around the right side. He scampers 17 yards for the touchdown, and it's 6-zip Scots. Midway through the second quarter, Scots threaten again, and it's senior Isaiah Browner crashing in from 6 yards out. Highland Park starts the season 2-0. They beat Harding 25-0.
All right, to the North Metro we go now. A capacity crowd watching the A-Town battle between Andover and host Anoka. It was a night to remember for Andover and senior quarterback Connor Wilkie. Already up by 2 touchdowns, Wilkie delivers again right before the half. Rolling left, he hits wideout Sam Steckman for the touchdown, and the Huskies have a commanding halftime lead of 21-0. Wilkie and the Huskies would strike often in the third quarter. This 85-yard hookup to his favorite target, Chris Larson, made it 35-7 Andover, and that would be plenty. The Huskies win impressively 42-17. Their offense has scored 42 points, Tori, in both of their first 2 games. They are loaded with weapons. The man calling the plays in Andover is head coach Rich Wilkie. He is the father of Connor Wilkie, the star southpaw quarterback who may be playing D1 football a year from now. And the one good thing about the Wilkies and this program is 10 years ago when they started everything, they were at the bottom. Now they're near the top. And we talked to the entire Wilkie family to find out how much football is in their blood.
It's a family affair at Andover High School. Since 2004, the Huskies' Rich Wilkie has coached his 3 kids, Scott, Mike, and Connor. Football is clearly in their DNA.
It's all we do. I mean, if we have a family meal or something, my mom will be like, all right, we got to shut the football talk down for a while in here and actually have some family time because it's year-round, it's constant, but it's fun. We love it.
Especially in the middle of the season, it can kind of overtake a little bit, but it's hard not to because it's a fun thing. It is part of your life, and it's something that we're competitive, so it's hard not to get that at the dinner table once in a while.
Back in 2002, Andover was a new school on the prep block. Coach Wilkie came in with a plan and a blueprint and built a foundation. Wilkie's three boys have played a key role in putting the Huskies on the football map.
When my dad took over the program, my brothers and I, we all ball boyed, and I ball boyed all up into 8th grade, so I was pretty familiar with the offense. I think I knew the whole thing by 7th grade, and it's just kind of been on the back of my hand up until now.
Connor Wilkie sponged up plenty from his father and brothers. The youngest Wilkie kid is the most gifted of the siblings. Connor, a southpaw quarterback, has thrown for 697 yards and a whopping 8 touchdowns in 2 Andover wins this season. Last week, Connor carved up Anoka like a Halloween pumpkin, tossing 5 TDs.
Living with your OC and the head coach is a real plus. We talk offensive scheme literally every day.
But it's kind of cool to kind of see their relationship. I think every high school coach wishes he could live with his quarterback, and they're always bouncing ideas off of each other. So it's been pretty cool to watch.
He's a solid thrower, and he's kind of grown up from us. He's always been really competitive. He's driven. So yeah, we'll be interested to see where things go. So.
Connor is so good that North Dakota State, and Northern Iowa all have him on their radar. Scott, who graduated in 2007, and Mike, who left Andover in 2010, believe their father's low-key coaching style is perfect for Connor.
He's quiet and reserved, and he thinks a lot. And it's kind of rubbed off on Connor that if you're down on the sidelines, it's always even keel. They don't get too high or too low. If we score, he'll be like, all right, and we go back to the board and we're going to do it again. We don't really ride the emotional roller coaster at all.
He's not throwing chairs. He's more of a low-key guy. He likes to keep it cool. He's always trying to change the program, make it seem like a college program, college run. He's not going to yell at you. He's a coach. He's a teacher more than a yeller, that's for sure. So he's always coaching or playing for my dad. He's always you're always going to learn from him. He's not going to yell at you. He wants you to learn something from the game.
It's really been a joy. I probably don't get to enjoy it as much as a dad, you would think. Because you're coaching in the game, but he's a joy to coach because he has such a high football IQ and really picks things up. He made the best halftime adjustment, as far as seeing things that he sees, and he's a veteran. He's played in a lot of games, but it's special. It really is. It's probably something that you won't really soak in, and maybe until later.
All right, Tori, one thing I know, Andover is not going to look past anybody on its upcoming schedule, but they probably have circled a game in early October. That's the one against Totino Grace. I'm sure they're eagerly anticipating that one.
Totino Grace, they dominated at pretty much every level, 4A, 5A, now moved on to 6A. Everybody wants to beat Totino Grace, and a team that could do it, the Andover Huskies. Connor Wilkie, I saw him a couple of years back. He was a string bean at 150 pounds, 6'3", but he's put on the weight. He's developed. He's a cerebral quarterback now. And he's got an opportunity to play at the Division I level.
Yeah, the string bean has come to harvest now. He's a good-looking quarterback, southpaw. He moved out of the pocket well in that Anoka game. He made his reads, his progressions. He threw some laser beams, and he also can throw that deep ball. So I think Connor Wilkie, for good reason, is on the radar of some D1 schools.
Yeah, they struggled 2 years ago. Here they are now, a group of seniors with Connor Wilkie leading them. They should have a wonderful opportunity to give themselves a chance to win a state championship. Wow. All right, moving forward now, we got the Fan App. We want to let you know that there is another new element to the School Space Media in 2013. It is the Fan App. It's now available on your mobile devices. Get your team schedules for the 2013 fall season and get outstanding deals from the School Space Media advertising partners at each school. The School Space Media Fan App, absolutely free, and is available for download at the iTunes App Store and Google Play. Moving forward, moving on, and coming up next, plenty more to come on the Conference Spotlight, including a chance to shine the spotlight on a coaching legend who is roaming the sidelines one final season down in Apple Valley. You are watching SchoolSpaceMedia.tv.
And welcome back to the Conference Spotlight here on SchoolSpaceMedia.tv. Tori, time to get our kicks. We're going to talk some soccer. We're going to focus on a coaching legend.
Absolutely. Down in the South Suburban, Apple Valley and Burnsville. Well, Apple Valley has never had a losing season under the tutelage of Chuck Scanlon, going back 39 years. They didn't want to start this year, but only 2 wins in their first 6 games. They needed to get going against Burnsville. We get into the highlights here. This one would be all Apple Valley, in control for most of the game. Ali Hassan retrieving the ball just to the right of the goal mouth, and he feeds senior Nathan Wilson. He goes left foot for the goal to get the scoring rampage started. They roll and they roll and they roll. The Eagles dominate the Blaze 8-1. Well, in an era of win now, coaches rarely have had a chance to get comfortable. For 39 years, Chuck Scanlon of Apple Valley has gotten comfortable with winning. This his final season. He's trying to go out a winner. An admitted fan of the great one, Wayne Gretzky, it was never about where William Charles Scanlon had been. It was about where he was going. And for 39 years and counting, Chuck Scanlon has been there, accomplished it, and is now looking for the next great challenge. The Apple Valley soccer program has known only one man, 9 state championships. Nobody else has won more than 5. Over 500 wins, the most in Minnesota State high school history, including a national high school record of 48 consecutive. And as the accomplishments mount, so have the years on the sidelines.
Well, it's kind of hard because it's been so enjoyable, and really the time has gone by so quickly. It seems like you just started yesterday, but I started in 1975, and we've had a lot of success here at Apple Valley in boys soccer and girls hockey. And then in girls hockey, you know, we had 2 state titles. 95, the first ever in the nation because no one had girls hockey, and then the first televised game in '98, we beat Hibbing 1-0 in a thriller in overtime.
Long before Chuck Scanlon was one of the all-time great coaches in Minnesota high school history, he was a 2-time national champion goaltender for the Bemidji State Beavers, and many of those qualities he possesses as a coach were ingrained as a player.
He has a tremendous drive that not too many athletes have, and he really carries that into his coaching. I think of anybody that I've been coached by or coached with, he has more drive, and he's such a great motivator. He can bring out things in athletes that nobody else can.
That ability to motivate was learned from a man who maybe motivated the greatest upset in sports history.
And I've learned a lot from a lot of the coaches, you know, and I've been really excited about being able to work with guys like that, like Herb Brooks, and I worked with him for like 15 years. And you learn a lot from people like that. My old college coach, Bob Peters at Bemidji, he's a tremendous coach and a motivator, and he's a great guy for the sport, you know. So you can learn a lot from a lot of those coaches. So I'm excited about what's happened, and I've been fortunate to be able to work with people of that caliber, to be able to, you know, give that to the students, give that to the players back. You know, it's been great, and they've been very receptive, and as a result, we've had a very successful program in both soccer and hockey.
Eventually, the one battle we can't win is the one against time. And as time has wore on a coaching career, so has the meaning of what 39 years at Apple Valley has become to this legend.
Great athletics, great academics, great fine arts program, and anything anybody does around our school, they do it 110%. And we've always done that in soccer. We've done it in school. We've had some great scholars in our program. And it's been just a classy outfit of people, you know, the parents to the players to the coaching staff. It's, you know, it's kind of sad that it's coming to an end because you've taken so much time and pride, and it's given you a lot of joy and a lot of excitement about what's happened. So I feel pretty fulfilled, but I also feel pretty fortunate to be able to have that kind of a program.
In 39 years of coaching in Apple Valley, he accomplished it all, going into immortality as a Minnesota High School Hall of Fame coach in soccer, and now most recently, this past summer, in girls hockey. You can bet that where Chuck is going, success will follow, even if he doesn't know quite yet where he's headed.
But who knows what the future is going to bring. I'm just excited about finishing this season the best we can right now, because we lost most of our players last year, so we have a lot of work to do, and our kids have been responding well now. But we want to finish this year on a high note. If we can get into the section playoff and make a run there and surprise some teams, I guess that's what we want to do.
Well, Apple Valley right back on their winning ways. It'd be pretty impressive if he could finish it off with another championship. 9 in soccer, 2 in girls hockey, including winning the first ever girls hockey state championship.
Yeah, here's a guy that's a multi-dimensional coach. He's carved a niche on the soccer pitch, and he's in the girls high school hockey Hall of Fame, so kudos to Chuck Scanlon.
Absolutely. Should be a great finish to the year, and everybody will be rooting for Chuck to get one more.
All right, let's finish this segment by looking at the power rankings posted on September 17th. Football, soccer, and volleyball on a roll. We'll be talking cross country when we return on the Conference Spotlight. A 5-year letter winner from Eastridge High School is making the most of her senior year. We'll have that story next right here on SchoolSpaceMedia.tv.
And welcome back to the Conference Spotlight Show. Tori Holt, Eric Nelson, right here on SchoolSpaceMedia.tv.
All right, Tori, you're a geography buff. I'm sure you know that Hastings, Minnesota is where the St. Croix and Mississippi meet, those two great rivers. Did you know Hastings also home to the annual Minna-Ert Cross Country Invitational? Now you do know. A dozen area schools competing at St. Croix Bluffs Regional Park on the banks of the St. Croix. The 5K course is known as a hilly and wooded journey, and it came down to a 2-person race on the boys' side. Trenton Powell of River Falls High School in Wisconsin holds off Zach Benning from Hastings by 5 seconds. Powell wins the race with a time of 16 minutes and 32 seconds. Red Wing wins the team honors. Woodbury finishes second and Eastridge third.
Even more amazing, Eastridge is in Woodbury.
There's that geography.
Absolutely. And speaking of Eastridge, they dominated the girls' portion of the Invitational down in Hastings, and their star runner, Bailey Ness, who's been All-State since 8th grade, is entering her final season. We sent our Andy Price out to catch up with the Eastridge senior and check on those high expectations.
There is a strong sense that the Eastridge girls runners are going in the right direction in 2013 as they have been leading the pack in early meets. The school has only been in existence for 5 years, and in each of those cross-country seasons, Bailey Ness has been a mainstay.
This is our 5th year in existence, this team, this school, and we've been represented every year at the state meet because of Bailey, because the first year she was the sole state runner. And then the next 3 years she brought her team with her. I think because of that experience now, they kind of know, they go to a meet and they kind of have a sense of what needs to be done, and I like to see that maturity.
Coach Cronin says the maturity has instilled great confidence in Bailey, and that confidence has led to individual wins in the first large invitationals. In fact, at the Hastings Invite, she demolished the field, winning by 30 seconds and setting a personal best of 14 minutes and 19 seconds.
Normally I don't get a personal best until later on in the season, or not on a hilly course like that. So it was just amazing when I was running through the finish line and all of a sudden I saw my time. It was like the weirdest thing. I didn't believe it.
Being her parent, I've had to ride the highs and the lows. Right now we are definitely riding the high.
Bailey and her dad/assistant coach say the individual wins are very exciting, but seeing the team win every early meet is just as important. In fact, after Bailey lapped the field in Hastings, she quickly went back to the finish line to cheer on the rest of her team.
Honestly, I was more excited about the fact that last week we beat Egan, which was, they were ranked 2nd in the state, we were ranked 3rd, we now are 2nd. I was so excited about that, and I was just excited to try to get my team to come in, because we didn't think that we had a chance against Egan. And then when I realized that all of a sudden that a lot of our girls were ahead of the other Egan girls, I was trying to push them in.
She really trained extremely hard this summer, and looking at how she trained, I wasn't surprised at all. I was honestly so happy for her and so proud of her, because I knew that she wanted it so bad, and having such a great time, her energy comes off to us and it makes us want to go harder. She really inspires us with
just by being Bailey. She's very outgoing and exuberant and very much an extrovert, so.
The Eastridge girls team has been conference champs 3 years running. Now their thoughts are racing to even greater heights, including a top 3 finish at state, which would put them on the podium. As for Bailey, her team and individual goals are in perfect stride.
I would say I'd rather have my team on the podium, but if I'm on the podium, it will definitely be helping my team get there. So both ways, it's a win-win if I do well and my team does well.
Well, for Bailey, she plans on running cross country in college. She just wants to wait to hold off on that decision where she will be going until after the season's over.
Well, she's in a good spot. She's got options. You weigh those options and make the best decision. A lot of kids would like to be where she is.
A lot of kids and a lot of football teams. Is the football season really starting to heat up? Who do you like so far that you've seen?
Well, obviously Eden Prairie, the defending Class 6A champions. I mean, they have that bar set so high. They're the gold standard. The big win over Totino Grace recently. And I'll tell you what, after seeing Andover, don't sleep on the Huskies.
Yeah, I've seen some good teams in 5A. A real surprise, Apple Valley last year going to the state tournament. I thought that they would compete for a championship. O to start the season. And then, of course, in 6A, I really like what Eastridge is doing so far.
And where's Eastridge again?
Woodbury.
Very good.
That'll do it for us on the show this week. It's a good one. I want to thank our executive producer, Andy Price, Brian Nicholson, Hannah Stranger, who does all of our graphics, Tara Einarelli, and our new intern, Clay. He's Eric. I'm Tori. Wish you a good night.
We're out.